Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's tone it down a little here. Let's talk about something a little less exciting, and that would be the Portland Trail Blazers. 21 and 61 last year. I think they dropped in the draft lottery. Anyway, favorite move that they made?
I do like that they drafted Donovan Clingan.
Yep.
Like I think he has some range, some ability. Again, it wasn't a great draft, but from what we've seen and what his untapped potential from UConn, because UConn, that's right, I can speak, runs kind of a set system. So maybe
Mhm.
he's one of those guys where you get him into the NBA with more space, let him explore the studio with some of his skills. Um, he'll shine brighter, and they need a big guy because the two that they have are not.
Correct. I did like that move as well. I also like the Denny Avdia trade. He's a fine player. He had his best year last year. It was pretty solid, and they didn't have to give up too much for him. So I do like that they brought him. He's still a young player, and I think he can add to the team.
Yeah.
Least favorite.
I like that they got Advia. I don't like that they gave up future picks
Oh,
like
sure.
that far out. Like I know they're thinking, well, by 2029 or 2030, we should be good. So maybe these aren't um, good picks. But again, that is based on you're going to be really good at drafting and not, be the Sixers for 5 years where you're just
Correct. Right.
resetting and resetting. So like I like getting the young asset and they can probably turn around and get something for it for him if they want. But just on surface level, giving up a first and a pick swap or whatever they did like in 2029 and 2030 is, I don't know, not my favorite thing when you're a bad team.
Yeah, I guess you're right because it would be a little different if like Scoot Henderson like showed levels of like he's going to be able to carry a team last year or something like that. Then you would be more confident in doing that. Like, but we didn't really get to see that, so that's a good point actually. Yeah. Um, I didn't write a least favorite move. The fact that DeAndre Ayton's still on this team is not my favorite thing. I think they need to kind of move on from him. I wonder if he'll be a trade candidate we can talk about there. I also kind of want them to move on from Simons as well. I kind of want them to just hand the keys over to Scoot and Shaden Sharp and Klingon and just go for it. So some of the people they still have their rosters, I guess. Again, this is kind of a nitpick, honestly, but just that some of these guys, Grant's still on the team, Aiton's still on the team, Simons is still on the team. I just move on from those guys. You can get some contenders are going to want them. Yeah, maybe not Aiton, but at least the other two. So just give them, get what you can for them and move on and let Scoot and Shaden Sharp take over with Donovan Clingan.
That's what they should do. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Biggest question that you have for them?
So it goes along that like when do we get a full reset? They have a couple assets, and are they just like injury prone?
Yeah,
Like Shaden Sharp's out a month already with a shoulder, which hurting your shoulder is not ideal for having a good shooting season.
right.
Anthony Simons has been in and out. Scoot Henderson had a rough, injury plagued year. And it makes it hard to know what you have when these guys keep coming in and out, and it stops their development, the fit of the team. Because on the surface, Scoot Henderson, Simons, Shaden Sharp, like I like those three players, but it seems like they never get to play together. And then, like you said, you still have um, DeAndre Ayton pouting his way through, Robert Williams, he's hurt too again. So it's just like a convalescence of injuries. And when do they just get rid of these guys and just go all young with a couple, one or two vets? And what are we doing?
Yeah, and I like for Anthony Simons. I just don't like the fit with him next to Scoot. They're both small is the problem, and I don't like two small guards on the same team. It's kind of like what they were when they had McCollum and Lillard. It's like you can only go so far when you have two guards that are that small. and they're both kind of shooters. Like there's a limit to what you can do. So that's why I would move on from him. I understand there's sort of intrigue, but I'm just not. I've seen this show before. They're not going to be as good as Lillard and McCollum were. So let's not pretend like, you know what I'm saying? Just move on, give Shaded Sharp that spot, let them grow together. But you are right. If they're going to be injured, they're not going to be able to grow. So that's a good point. We gotta keep them healthy.
Yeah, and I would like to see it just for the sake of, can they all at least play together? And I know like Dame and CJ really didn't work, and you're probably not likely to have these two guys to that level. Well, hopefully better than CJ McCollum, but you're just kind of playing the greatest hits and hoping that it works out different this time. And maybe if Klingon is really good, and you can get a wing out of this, and you get something for Jeremy Grant, it can look different, but it's going to be another flush away the years.
Yeah,
so
correct.
You got to eventually see it before you can, put stock into it.
Correct. So any other questions or points? Okay. And so basically, the prediction you have for them is
Lottery.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay. The Utah Jazz. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.